Hey, this is Andreas Welch with Intelligence Briefing. I'm here at Okta Oktane. I'll be talking to Eric Kelleher, President and COO of Okta, and we have a lot to talk about agents, about AI, and how identity and security fit into the mix. So let's get started. Eric, it's so great to have the opportunity to be talking to you. Maybe just to level set, if not everybody is familiar with the terms, what is identity? Why are we talking about it? And why is it so important now when we have AI and agents in the mix?
Yeah, identity is really fundamental. Every company that's out there has to identify who their employees are, who their systems are, their services are, their databases, and needs to ensure that those identities are protected so that they can't be taken advantage of by what we call a threat actor, so a cyber criminal or people that are looking to have them hacked. So historically, identities have really started with human, but in recent years, we've looked at not only human, but also non-human identities. So applications and servers talking to each other and making sure those can't be compromised. They all need to be properly authenticated and authorized. And now we're seeing the evolution of AI. And with AI comes AI agents that also take action. And just like a human or a non-human identity, an agent needs to be properly authenticated and properly authorized so that it can't be taken advantage of by someone who's trying to hack.
I think that's really important. In many of the conversations that I'm having with leaders, I'm seeing that they are trying out agents. Yeah. They want to see what does this technology actually hold, but not many are actually thinking about security and governance yet. So I'm excited to see that you are thinking about this and also how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a real exposure right now. So right now, as you pull enterprises, companies around the world, over 90% of companies say that they have agents that are in production that have been deployed, but only 10% of them say that those agents are being managed properly. So there's a big exposure right now where people need help securing AI.
How do you do that then? I mean, Okta has been around for 15 years and more. You're one of the leaders in identity as a service. What has changed so significantly when you no longer just have not humans and non-humans, but agents? What are they able to do? What is the risk?
So Okta's been around for 15 years, and our first chapter really was the evolution of cloud computing. And you mentioned identity as a service. Yeah. Where we really started was helping companies go from managing users and accounts on premise architectures into managing services in the cloud and web-based or software as a service applications. So we created the category identity as a service specifically for that. And then in recent years, we've seen the evolution from identity as a service to identity as security. And what's really prompted that is companies have learned that over 80% of cyber attacks, of successful cyber attacks, start with some form of compromised credential. And so with that kind of statistic, companies know that if they want to get security right, they have to get identity right. And so that's been fundamentally transformative for us as a company and for our customers. And now we find ourselves in this third chapter where with the rise of agents and agentic AI, people know they need to secure not only their human identities and their non-human identities and make them secure, but they also need their agentic identities to be properly managed within the system as well.
So what does it look like then if you have agents, if you have users giving access to corporate data, to their OneDrive, to their Google Drive? Does the security team even know that today?
Yeah, so that's one of the challenges today is agents are being developed by so many people to solve so many different problems. There's not yet a standard in the industry where agents can be properly registered with an identity security provider. So one of the actions that we're taking this week, and you'll hear us talk about this, is we're advocating for a new open standard called cross-app access. And what the standard does is it allows people that are developing agents to develop them in a way that they can be administered by any IDP, including Okta's, but really any provider in the space. And our goal is to help the industry develop agents in ways that they can be more secured by customers to help all of us have more secure footprint.
I think that's really, really important, especially as more companies are looking at this and as they're getting more serious, right? Getting out of the pilot purgatory and into real production use cases and seeing what really works.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, we've seen so many great announcements from Okta in today's keynote. I'm losing count. And obviously they're all relevant. We've talked about identity, we've talked about authentication, we talked about authorization. But what are the biggest three announcements that you would want our viewers to take away here?
Yeah, that's great. So really, we started with one. So Okta Secures AI. So one of the most fundamental things we need to help people understand is the pace at which AI is being deployed is significantly faster at the pace at which it's currently being secured. And there's a risk and exposure that people need to be aware of and need to help manage. Now with that, we have three big announcements that are really highly relevant. The first is what I mentioned, the cross-app access protocol. everyone should be looking at building agents in a way that support this protocol. Again, it's an open standard, it's not Okta specific, but if you're building agents, you should build them in a way that supports cross-app access. And then everyone needs an identity security fabric, a fabric that will tie together all of your identities, whether they're human, non-human, or agentic, and for all of your identity use cases. So all of that's going to be very important. So Okta provides an identity security fabric in order to manage all these use cases for us. And the two key tools we're going to be talking about this week, we have the Auth0 platform, which is our platform for developers to solve identity. We're announcing Auth0 for AI agents. And Auth0 for AI agents is a platform that allows developers to build agents in a way that will out of the box support the cross-app access protocol.
Okay.
Hugely important for developers this week. And then for IT organizations, the Okta platform and Okta for AI agents is announcing a whole bunch of capabilities that allow agentic IDs to be managed within the IDP. And so in your directory, in your governance, and your privileged access. So cross-app access, the identity security fabric, Auth0 for AI agents, and Okta for AI agents. Those are going to be your anchor messages for this week.
Awesome. So take note of those, right? Especially if you're building agents. So definitely want to make sure that they are safe and secure.
Great.
Now, we already talked about that. Obviously, Okta has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And the industry keeps changing so much. We've seen this over the last couple of years, right? We've all had a front row seat at that. I'm excited to see what you're doing, but how are you preparing yourself as Okta, as a company, and how do you help your customers stay at the forefront of what's happening when change is constant?
Yeah, so just like every company out there, we're looking at how we can leverage AI internally. So we already have AI integrated in our product. So for example, identity threat protection with Okta AI is a product that uses artificial intelligence to manage the huge signal that we receive every month of authentication traffic. And we have over 45 billion authentication events a month that we manage as part of our service. And we use AI to monitor that traffic and identify trends and threat actor activity and share that through our Okta Threat Intelligence program with our customers and with the industry as a whole. So that's one example how our products are leveraging AI already today. But additionally, internally, like every other company, we're looking at how we can be more productive and how we can make our employees more productive and how we can all be more impactful with the variety of tools that are out there. What we're doing right now is we're looking for best-in-breed technologies, and we're selecting vendors that are implementing cross-app access so that the agents that we deploy can be managed by our own organization so we can keep ourselves secure.
Wonderful. One part that really stands out for me is that cross-app access is an open protocol, right?
Absolutely.
And an open standard, and you've purposely defined it and designed it as that. So I'm looking forward to seeing more companies join that initiative, because I think then everybody benefits in the industry.
That's the goal.
Eric, thank you so much for sharing the big three announcements, what's in store with Okta, how you're helping secure your customers' organizations. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andreas. You too. Have a great week at Oktane. Have a great Oktane, everybody.